All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have gotten both teams in the party, and in a minute or two here, we will be getting into this game between Celsior Lions and Team Gemini. Of course, it's always going to
Your
be a good
favorites.
match. These are both very good teams, and I am Cal, and I'm here with me is Pillbox.
Hello.
Doing good
Doing
once
awesome,
again.
man. Hopefully I sound better.
Sound awesome.
Great.
Game of the night. And we expect, as always, it's going to be a good game. This is the North American Champions League, brought to you by Band and partnered with Vainsocial.
Looking for
Now,
those plays.
yeah,
Let me
right.
see some
Obviously,
plays.
Celsior, a very well-known team, have been a team in NACL for 2 or 3 seasons now. Very respected. It's going to be good to see them getting back into this. What do you expect to come out of them? What do you really want to see as we get into this draft here in a minute or two?
I want to see, like I said before, I want to see an attempt at that early snowball. You should at least try to steal some farm, try and get something rolling, because there's always something to fight over. There's the jungle minions, there's the elder minions, there's the turrets. There's always something your team can be moving towards. No wasted movement. None of
Yep.
this, oh, I'll be in this bush, but I miscalled that because I see them all in the lane now. Like, you just work as a team, communicate. I actually saw some communication issues between the last few teams. That's got to be solid. So I'm thinking when you have good communication, you see it on screen. You can't hear them talking, but you can see
Yep.
it. You can see them changing targets,
Yeah,
making
definitely.
priorities. Yeah,
Yeah, especially
that'd be
with
good.
Rome. From my perspective, what I've seen is you can always tell when a team is coordinated because of how the Rome moves and how he waits for his everybody to be in position. Doesn't No one ever goes in by themselves. They're always coordinated. And that's something that I really expect to see out of Celsius today. They've been a team for a while. They're great guys. They have good chemistry and they have really, really high skill levels. So
Yeah,
see a lot coming out of them. And then Gemini, also very, very good players on it. A newer team, not as much experience, but very, very mechanically skilled players. And it's going to be really interesting to see if they can have the same shot calling and same chemistry that Celsius is notorious for having.
yeah. I've casted a few Celsius games. I haven't seen Gemini, so I'm gonna be learning something about them, and let's see
Yep,
if they
looking
can
forward to it.
rise to the challenge as being the so-called underdog here in this matchup.
Yeah, yep, definitely. But of course, anything can happen. This is the North American Champions League, and we're going to hop right into this draft. So I'll let you take it from here.
All right, so we saw some pretty basic drafts earlier. A fin ban would be interesting because it really lets the other team know where your mind is at. You
Yeah,
don't want a lot of crowd control happening.
yeah. And also the common calf man. So neither team really wants to give over the
Grace is
strong
out there.
yeah, Grace is still out though, but her heel did get nerfed, but she's still very, very strong.
I prefer. I don't like her as a first pick. Yeah, going with the Arden. Arden is it doesn't really let you know a whole lot about the comp. Grace will, and you get some range on her, and she has to separate herself from her team a lot. She's very difficult to stay with, so you can kind of plan your build around her more than you
That's
can.
very true. That's
Saying
very,
Arden
very true. Oh, interesting picks here.
power.
I like this. I
Just
like the Glaive Idris. Idris is renowned for being one of the best laners in the game right now, and Glaive being the obvious counter, they can flex him. So if they do pick someone who's very good at driving, if they take the Glaive Roam and they go like a Idris and a Taka or a Black Feather even, they can dive very hard, but they are going to pick up the Black Feather and potentially go the Celeste maybe is what we've seen a lot of, but not
they
sure.
could
Very
they
interesting.
could put this Black Feather in lane
I
and
would
get
go
some
with
more
the extra
mobility.
mag.
Oh, some zoning.
Oh yeah, they're gonna go
Control.
with the Baptiste. Wow, very interesting. Very, very interesting.
Going to be able to ramp up damage on this front line because not a lot of defense coming out. If they go with the Celeste, that means it's going to be a Roam Glaive, which is effective, but he doesn't have the utility that, say, Arden has. It's saving his teammates.
Definitely gonna have to give the stronger roamer to Arden. But Glaive, obviously, they do have multiple stuns, so if they can catch somebody out and avoid the Baptiste ultimates,
Yeah.
a lot, and it is very, very effective. It's really
So
gonna
what are you thinking, Cal? What are you thinking?
personally have to give it over to Team Gemini. The consistency on their comp, as well as knowledge of how mechanically skilled they are, the Black Feather is going to be able to get on the Celeste. The Baptiste, not as much. Celeste, obviously, one of the best Baptiste counters in the game right now, has so much range, can never get close enough to land the Ordained. But Black Feather and Arden, they can lock Celeste down. She won't be able to get away, and it's really going to be about how much Glaive can keep Black Feather off of her.
Absolutely. Baptiste, really strong. Has his counters, like you said, with that range. But he is going to be very effective against this front line and stopping any kind of wave that might come over them, given one of these fights where they find themselves in a 2v3 or even in a 3v3.
Yep. And I do really, really like, as obviously analyzing this, I like how the carries are starting in the back, especially on the side of lines with the Celeste and the Idris. You really need them to hit level 2, or Idris can't do much because he can't really gap close. He won't be able to get any damage off after his chakram. So going back to the backs together and getting your Ghost Lane, very, very important. As well as the Baptiste and the Black Feather, the exact same thing. Both rely so much on their combo. Getting that extra level before going into their lane is very, very important.
I like it. It is very soft for me. It's a very soft open. Not gives respect to the other team, you know?
Yep. Not just the safest route.
Yeah.
But both teams very equal right now, actually. Neither really has a amazing early game. I would have to give the early game over to
Baptiste catches him in that. Black Feather building up some damage, getting those heartthrob stacks down. Idris is going to be just fine. Going to be able to step away. No problems there.
Well, I would have to definitely give the early game to Team Gemini with the Ordained and the Bad Mojo spam. That's going to deal quite a bit of damage when he's empowered.
Yeah, that Bad Mojo.
But it is very close. Either team could take the early advantage, obviously.
He's focusing on it being a problem now, too. He's getting the 3 crystal bits. He wants them to be worried about it immediately.
Yep, definitely the right choice to back and now take his farm. Celeste's not going to be the person you have to worry about being aggressive, though she does have quite the lead in farm already because of how much her rotations are faster.
I'm poking around here in lane, just a little back and forth, just make sure they get that farm. Black Feather having the best clear right now. Going to be able to have some time here to go home and get some more items. Down here in the jungle, everybody's getting cozy around this this elder treant.
Going to be the right choice to make, obviously. As a Celeste,
now they are undershopped. They're undershopped in this situation. Lions are at a disadvantage, but they get the surprise. The Afterburn comes through and deletes the Baptiste. And they're going to get this other treant pretty easily. Goes down, and they can choose to push this right now, but they're going to back off and worry about farming up.
So very important for the Idris to get the gold off that. And the fact is, it sort of looked like a misplay when Apollo actually punted him out of the core collapse, but they still managed to pick it up. And that gold lead is going to be huge for either team. So equal. Getting the Treant as well, Celeste picking up the mid, it's going to help her to her level 8. And we know Celeste, especially, is just so deadly.
So good call on Lions not to push that and go home and shop. They were at a disadvantage by not being shopped. So they recognized that and fell through.
Getting the pick, getting the kill, though, very important.
Yeah. Idris in a bit of trouble here, eating a lot of damage for free. And Black Feather's going to go ahead and close it out. Going to go between the turrets here to get away. It's going to help him just a little bit. See if they can get the damage down onto someone else so he can get out of there. He's doing fine, actually. No problem. He's going to get out.
Oh, my. Wow. What a heads-up play.
Oh, no. And everything's coming down on the, on the glaive right now between his turrets. The farthest aggression I've seen so early under some turrets for a long time. That was if that was airtime and this was the NBA, they were just the Michael Jordan of diving turrets.
Yes, staying so far in the coordination, managing Arden almost dying, but switching the aggro to the Baptiste so that they could get out. So smart.
How about that pot? That pot was the star of that play right there.
Yeah, right. Keeping him alive so the glaive couldn't do anything either. From an analysis point of view, though, this lane should really be Idris's. If he can land the chakrams and Blackfeather does not have his on point up, it will do a lot more damage. But at the same time, Blackfeather can contest it just as hard. So this lane I expect to be very exciting to watch and very back and forth.
Yeah, the prioritizing of Baptiste's B for these fights is going to be super important. He needs to know who he's locking down and be ready with these bad mojos when he's overdriven. I like Baptiste, but I don't like him for that, and that he needs a lot of things to be going in his direction for his damage to really be doing his full potential, to get max out. And there is a lot going on the side with the stuns, the movement from the glaive. He really shapes a fight so quickly that it can disrupt the Baptiste.
Yep.
A little bit of engage here in the mustache bush.
Yeah.
Arden actually having the precedent there. He's having the presence in that bush, and Glaive isn't able to do anything about it. He's not able to keep them out from the rotation.
I would really like to see them push a fight because Celeste obviously has the Frostburn already, and they did have the Fountain Advantage, and Fountain Advantage is such a huge thing. So much extra healing comes out of it that you can use it when your carry has lots of health still, and by the time he gets low health, it will have healed him back up. And when the other team has a Fountain, like any healing coming out of it is huge. It doesn't even have to, you don't have to wait for them to be 1 HP. They can have like a third of health and you use it, and you've won the fight. So I really would have liked to see some aggressiveness, but they are going to do something right now.
Moving as a team, the Lions looking real good. Afterburn comes out. They're going to land a good amount of damage on him before he's get away. They are get scared back, but then not enough and not fast enough. He does get blown up by, it looked like, I didn't see it. It wasn't the glaive. Was that a shot? No, it was a Helio.
Seems like. Yeah, he did get blown up by the Helio, and then the Solar Storm came out right before the Fearsome Shade. What a key damage during that fight, just dealing so much damage to Baptiste, because obviously Baptiste has not picked up any shield yet, which he really shouldn't, but dodging those Solar Storms or getting the crowd control down when she's using it is going to be very, very important.
Afterburn comes in, he lands it on the Arden. Gonna have a lot of damage going back and forth here. They are fighting under turret, and Blackfeather goes down to the Idris, but Baptiste now in a bad position. He was looking good for a minute there, doing the damage that he needed to on the back line, but ultimately with the Blackfeather going down, he couldn't.
Once again, about B17, regarded as, obviously this is not Celsior starter, but one of the very, very strong players on Celsior, using the Idris very, very well, using the Shimmer Strike to get onto the Blackfeather and use the Chakram to deal so much damage as he almost picks up the Arden while they're taking Goldmine. Huge play for them.
A little bit of a Hail Mary from the Arden. It's going to eat a death. Try and get a Goldmine. Didn't work out. They played that beautifully by holding off the damage as a team. Not one person hitting it and getting it lower and lower and lower, but as a team, stopped hitting it and let him. They know when his auto attacks are. They know your pacing. So great job
by Celsior. Yep. And we are going to see the Blackfeather actually build into the Poison Shiv and then the Sorrow Blade, which is very, very smart. It's what we see the pros going. I just want to talk about it for a second. It does not give nearly as much sustain. And I have seen pros build it both with the breaking point and without. It does not give as much sustain as the Serpent's Mask, but it gives so much more burst.
So a lot just happened there. They're being very aggressive here and getting away with it in lane. They're putting out a lot of poke just from the Baptiste's bad mojo and unpunished as well. So at a disadvantage now with the 2K gold lead, but still able to pressure this lane pretty effectively.
You see the Celeste is level 8. So as Blackfeather with this build is going to be able to burst her down. She has so much range. And we see so much damage coming out, especially with the Solar Storm.
Solar Storm just whipping to the left of that Blackfeather, almost leading him, while the Glaive was just, after burning in off the top fight, causing chaos. He has that ability to shift a fight and change the whole feeling of it really quickly. Closing in, Blackfeather going deep. He's on this Glaive, and he's going to take a lot of damage. The Reflex block doing a lot of work, saving his life from that damage as Celeste is dropping Helio after Helio, just stars coming down from the universe, just destroying. They're going to have to run away, and they are pushing this turret. Celsior Lions looking really strong right now.
Yeah, once again, very well played by the Celeste to stay on the back line. Blackfeather not able to get on her and just dealing so much damage with the Heliogenesis. Once again, Celeste, one of the strongest junglers in the game right now if you don't play against her the way you need to, which is diving, obviously.
Yeah, Baptiste is making the effort to get back there. It's just they do not have the sustain right now because they are trying to blow somebody up, which they have the potential to do because there's not a lot of defense out there on anybody.
And we only see a 3,000 gold lead earlier, and which we have seen much worse. So they're still in this game by a lot, and they still definitely, if they pull out 1 or 2 good team fights, can take some objectives. I'm really expecting to see if some good crowd control and a gauntlet, plus probably a fearsome shade, come out.
As far as individual gold on the carries, they're doing pretty well in items. So they have the damage output. Baptiste doesn't really need a broken myth to be able to delete a team. So, they're going in right now. Afterburn onto the Baptiste. He's going to get knocked back, but not a lot going on. They are deep here. Solar Storm going right through the middle of the team, cutting them in half, hitting nobody really. Just kind of bouncing off the Arden a little bit. They're going to, all that aggression is showing what they were going for right here. It's all for this gold mine. Celeste keeping the back line, keeping the vision, making sure they can't get too close, but Arden is going to get in there real close. They let go of the gold mine, and they are turning on this fight big time. All the damage coming out. Blackfeather on the back line on the Celeste. She's 1v1ing him alone, and they need to turn around on this now. She's going to get it down, I think. Nope. It's blown up. Too much damage. That Sorrow Blade really making it work with those auto attacks. And Glaive not able to get through the wall. Can't help Idris too much, but they are back in a very difficult position on the wrong side of the map. Going to try and make it back the other way. Splitting the team effectively. Idris is going to get away. It looks like they're both got an opportunity here. Glaive's getting out. Once Baptiste puts it on him, gets him, they're going to have to drop on him right now. It's going to be really hard to close this kill on the Glaive. They're giving it a shot.
And Blackfeather potentially going to get baited, actually. Oh, almost.
Oh, that damage.
Yeah, wow. So impressive. Idris trying his hardest. Oh.
Solar Storm. 2 birds, 1 stone. Takes him to a scary amount of health where the Idris now is a big problem. Gets the kill down on the Arden. He's got a chakram coming out. It's going to do the damage if it comes back. Oh, my goodness. Oh, but Baptiste shows up. Bad mojo right to the face. Blows him up. Idris goes down. It is now a 2v1 on the Celeste, who's got full health, full mana. She's going to destroy. Down goes the Blackfeather in lane. Baptiste doesn't want anything to do with it.
Yeah, and that was a really key example of when teams overstay. Blackfeather really wanted that farm, but it would have been much better if he had backed off. Celeste, obviously, right now, backing off yet again. He could have backed, healed up, gotten the farm when he came back to lane. It was not getting pushed that badly. And really just throwing himself back in, staying a little too long, giving Celeste the kill and a lot of pressure. They are going to go for the gold mine off of that, which is really a key thing is when teams get over aggressive like that. But still very good with the Blackfeather.
I want to see some individual reflex blocks come out on the Celeste, and it just because a Crucible is so hard to it's only for the fearsome shade, right? So they need a way out of this gauntlet because they don't want to be locked in there. A big engage right here in the mustache bush of Gemini. They're taking a lot of damage from the outside. Like every time these healers are dropping, Blackfeather's going to go down onto the Celeste, but she's going to run back to the safety of her team. Fearsome Shade comes out, just whips just right, and Blackfeather's full of health. Got lots of time here. Celeste getting taken very low. There she goes, blown up. Had full stacks on her. Idris though turning around, getting the damage down, but it is back and forth with the damage. Nothing, and the Roams are just battling it out. Glaive going to punt him back with the afterburn and the health barrier. The ace comes through.
As an Idris player, you really need to understand when you have that up and when you can be aggressive versus not aggressive. I want to talk about Blackfeather, though. Using the on point in that battle will get so many heartthrob stacks going and almost executing Idris. That would have been so huge if he managed to execute him regardless. So very well played by him, using the right range to get the heartthrob stacks of being safe, dodging the chakrams, and almost turning the fight around for his team completely.
5K gold lead for Celsior, and it's showing.
Yeah, Idris definitely starting to hit very, very hard.
And like I said, the reflex blocks have come out for them now. So I really wanted them to get that. I was really worried about them not having those because the Crucible isn't going to do a whole lot with all the CC coming out from them.
Sustain the original burst from Idris, he's not going to have a lot of sustained damage because he's not going any ramping. He's not going a broken myth. He's not going a breaking point. So obviously, it's the end of the fight's Blackfeather is going to be hitting very hard, and playing for that sort of win condition after he dives, Celeste is going to be very, very important.
He's
for the side of Gemini.
That Frostburn is helping her out tremendously, and that's pretty much all she's using. You know, he comes back to her, she drops that on him, slows him down, and then boots to her team wherever they have diven to reestablish a front line for herself, and that's her positioning has been key. Big damage. Afterburn comes out onto the Blackfeather. He's already taken so low and cannot handle even a little bit of the Baptiste was on the Celeste, but he let that go now. He is alone with the Idris and actually doing some damage, but not able to hold out too long. The Sentry was actually doing work.
Yeah, what a huge afterburn. And that's when you say people talk about Glaive Roam, that's what they really mean. Just catching them out completely. Even before Kraken's up, they're going to get down this turret, which is just huge for the gold lead and then huge for the opportunities, because if they get a Kraken, that's in the base. Like,
link those abilities. And Blackfeather had almost no health 3 seconds into that fight.
Yep. Much map control now. It's quite incredible what the benefits of winning a fight like just that can be.
See, so he bought some shield now, but he really needs to anticipate. He is a fight behind his item build. He should have had that before.
Oh, we see them sitting in jungle. So smart. Oh, Arden is going to get him with the flare, but he gets stunned.
Oh, my gosh. After Glaive. Afterburn coming out from the Glaive. Lots of damage. Celeste is trying to take it back. She's kiting really well, but she is back there alone. She stands alive. I can't believe it. Stun comes out and lands and finishes him off. All of that damage happening within 2 seconds. They're on this Arden and they're going to get it, yeah.
Solar Storm, one of the strongest abilities in the game. So useful to heal Celeste up. Even if she's low health, as soon as you get it off with the Eve, it's going to proc tons of life steal, and you're basically going to be full health again. And we saw in that fight, even though Blackfeather took her extremely, extremely low, she's going to get healed up, and she is going to live throughout that fight. And just incredible, really. The mechanics.
Taking that Kraken, and there's no choke turret. They got this huge gold lead. They're infused.
Knowing what they're
older
doing.
Infusions out there, but they're riding it.
Definitely.
And they're ready to go. They're full health, full CP. They got lots of utility, lots of damage. Got that back line that's really strong. I see a tough road for Gemini right here. Arden eating all the damage, everything landed on him, just basically getting comboed into nothing. But Celeste getting taken very low. Rose Offensive just destroying her, but he goes down as well. Baptiste is alone, and this could be the game.
Yeah, he gets taken
big ace.
Wow, very, very smart play by Baptiste. They're trying to fear the glaive so that he cannot heal and play with the Celeste, though it does get blocked. Very, very good Crucible by Apollo. Apollo having gotten in 4th place last NACL, one of the best roamers in this whole tournament, obviously.
For Gemini, I think that was the move they needed to make because they had to go in for a fight. They got a kill. They could have snowballed into another kill, but both of them, you couldn't leave them alive for very long in the fight because they were going to do a lot of damage. That's what you need.
Biggest disadvantage was never diving. They would always wait for the enemies to dive them, and that would always put away in a bad position where he was always getting caught out. At the beginning of that fight, he got deleted. Blackfeather managed to pick up a kill. If they had went in without him, Blackfeather probably would have got the kill, and Arden would have been able to keep him alive. Probably could have won the fight, but because of the glaive roam, the unpredictability, and the afterburn, it really, really locked him down.
Yeah. Echo. Wonderful. Wonderful tool.
Very
so
well
proving me wrong there.
Extremely entertaining game.
Yeah, Celeste making it work, but it was sweaty. She's definitely gonna have to change gowns because there were many times where she got blown up far too low, lower than you want to be.
By both teams, and of course, after a side switch, we are gonna switch. We are gonna go into draft. It seems like Celsior is making a sub, taking out B17. The Idris in that game played it very, very well, shutting down the Blackfeather early and doing very, very good. We're gonna see.
Yeah. Big damage, big decision making, big positioning. That was really big.
Really made the plays in that game. You think for Celsior?
From Excelsior's side, they just answered all the threats in an according manner. So in the beginning fights, they were diving and leaving the Celeste alone. And then Celeste started repositioning godly around her team as they were diving Baptiste and Arden. Because they were getting a lot of those fights, Arden went down first. And I've said it a lot. He's one of those roams you can focus.
The positioning was really, really well played, to be honest. Like staying at the back, using the Eve. So many fights. She'd get the Solar Storm off just in time to heal herself back up with the Eve. It was incredible to see the chemistry and the coordination, knowing each other's strengths. Apollo using the Afterburn so well. Just
So here's where I think
amazing.
So the positioning of the fights was stupendous, and their buying of their items, because they were on the same page when the very moment I was like, it's 12, 13 minutes. Kraken is coming up. If you don't have your own reflex block, you're asking for trouble. So even though they have the lead, a lot of people don't make this choice. When you're in the lead and you're crushing, you still need to buy defense. You don't need to just bank it all on, oh, I'm crushing. They can't even get near me. That Blackfeather could have blown her up at any time.
Yep, that's how you get the game turned around on you. So very well
Yeah.
played by them. And it looks like we are going to hop into draft here in a minute or two. It's going to be very interesting to see what the bands are after such a brutal game.
Just got out drafted, you saw it in that Kraken. They couldn't even address the Kraken because they knew the damage was going to be coming from the outside, and there was nothing they could do to stop it. And then you got Glaive coming in right away as soon as someone starts getting low. So it's like, got to turn and fight. It's like you're being forced into positions. You're not making choices anymore, and they're dancing around you. So they really need to work on their comp and fill the holes of that poke. If there's a lot of poke, you need some poke.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely the right choice. Some important things that need to go around, and they definitely showed off the strengths and how they played the playstyle so well.
Now,
honestly,
do you like Weapon Baptiste?
No, I have never seen a Weapon Baptiste. I've heard about Weapon Baptiste that have worked, but I've never seen them work well.
He has the ability to isolate you in a way that you can't run away, right? So he has to close the gap on you, and already he has to be close to do damage, but his lifesteal is insane. And if you can dodge some of those abilities, he may have been in a better position and allowed the poke from the Blackfeather to be where the poke came from. I don't know. I don't know if they could have adjusted, but they were definitely not winning after the first two fights. They were losing the same way every time.
The best counter picks into Baptiste. Yep.
So throw something at them they don't expect,
We're gonna hop back into this draft. Definitely hoping to see something interesting, and Lions is gonna be the one banning first.
Catherine ban leaves healers, leaves Lance, leaves a lot out there. Definitely not worried about Grace or Lyra. Just worried about Catherine. Catherine can be very strong. I wish we got to see win the night. Blackfeather has been a star all night. Really, that was a thorn in their side during those fights was Blackfeather.
Yeah, definitely a very strong pick, and they are going to first pick the Glaive into that, which is interesting because Blackfeather is very, very good into Glaive if you build him right. So I do really support that pickup. They know there isn't a great counter out right now, and they can flex him, obviously. You can put Glaive everywhere. One of the best picks. Though I would have liked to see a Finn, and the other team is going to pick up the Lance as well. So both of those roamers are very good. I really would have liked to see the Finn get picked up.
So what do you think?
Right now, I'm really unbiased so far. Both teams I've went with very good heroes. I'm not sure about this Skye pick. Skye, very good hero. Even after the nurse, has a very high skill cap. Not somebody you can first pick as a carry or as a jungler. Can get countered extremely hard by a Petal or even by a Taka or something. Baptiste even, Baptiste is gonna lock the Skye down. Not a smart pick.
If they come in here with some
extremely well.
This is interesting.
I would like to see the Glaive lane here, actually, but
now the front line from the Lance, if they pick the Cedrus, they're shooting themselves in the foot as far as poke.
Lance is going to be able to Githian wall Idris away every single time he tries to dive. It's really going to be on Baptiste getting the Ordain down and Idris playing off of that, dodging the Githian wall to get in there and just melt Skye when she's trapped.
Ordain, Afterburn, Chakram. Dead.
Oh, very, very interesting. I really like this draft.
Whoa.
The Lance is very good. Weapon Power Sky is actually one of the best weapon or Idris counters in the game. I'm not quite sure about a double CP Idris, but Weapon Power Sky is one of the best counters to Idris in the lane because of how mobile she is and how she can kite him. So it's going to be really interesting how they can flex that. And then Celeste, obviously, as we saw last game, destroys Baptiste if he can't gap close. And CP Idris doesn't have the range either. So if it's a CP Idris even, he's going to get messed up by Celeste too. This is going to be very interesting to see.
Yeah, these fights are going to be crazy. There's lots going on.
Does look like it's going to be a weapon glaive, which means it will probably be a CP Idris. Something I can really support. Not the right choice. Double weapon part, but that would be even worse, really.
Yeah.
It's gonna be really interesting though. If they do go double weapon power, or even if they go a CP Idris, if they can coordinate their dives, they can definitely blow up this Sky.
Yeah, they're gonna be able to go right through the front line of
Lance if he doesn't land the Githian walls.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's gonna be key, and we see Baptiste and Lance in the jungle duel.
Already going, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just showing him who's boss, putting down the damage. Oh, they're all here now, answering back. 4 barrage, landing a little bit of damage, staying on point with it though.
Play by Glaive to go up in the lane and push it up, or Idris actually. He pushed the wave in. That's very good. That's denying Sky actually a lot of farm. So very heads up play by him. It's gonna be interesting. You don't see many weapon power Skies nowadays, so it's really interesting.
Big mobility.
Oh wow.
Afterburn comes through, getting that Lance back into their midst, but he's using that jungle expertly, just staying out of damage for as long as possible. Eventually just goes down. It's making them waste their time, really.
Especially with such fast respawns right now in the jungle farm. Definitely the right choice, just to be obnoxious and waste their time.
Yeah. More time they're chasing you, less time they're farming. But they're still aggressive here, and for good reason. They could be taking this whole half of this jungle pretty free and aggressing this Sky. Just freely right now. Black, they're on her. Afterburn comes down and lands, of course, just in an open field, not even near her minions. No mistakes were going to be made. She was going down, and they collapsed on her pretty quickly.
Yeah, definitely a good play by the Glaive to rotate back up. Baptiste already abusing her, knowing that he could get the stun off and that his team was there to support. Oh,
Baptiste cannot be that aggressive.
Stunned. So great into him. We're gonna have to see.
Tried to maintain vision in that bush for the farm, but now Idris is at disadvantage. And she can hold this farm here for as long as she likes. Another wave's coming in. She can mess up the next minute or two for this Idris and push it at an inopportune time for themselves.
Yeah, he just backed. This is a perfect time for Sky to push it, but obviously Baptiste is in lane, and Idris having already on his way back. They're not going to really deny much CS.
He's still going to have to come pretty far forward.
Yeah, well, I really would like to see a Celeste rotate up and then try to freeze lane. When you have someone as long range as Celeste with the stun,
yeah, she's coming around. She's coming now. They can start aggressing. They got this big wave
if you
here.
Let the wave push to you and you just keep it there, you can do great things with the roots and impales. But we do see Glaive rotate up in the ordained.
Oh no! And the afterburn comes out. Inopportune moment there, but it did work out for them.
Such a beautiful Githian wall right there. Yeah. Lance, a beautiful Githian wall. Keeps Glaive out of position so he punts her sideways instead of back into his teammates. Perfectly timed.
Good shock him there, putting down some damage. Nice amount of poke early. The CP Idris is just going to get stronger and stronger. Make it difficult. But Sky being, Celeste having pretty free range here in her jungle. Nothing to really worry about because Celsior needs to back off and start farming again and stop being so aggressive. So they did buy themselves some time here moving into the 4 minute mark.
The sooner this Celeste gets to level 8 for Team Gemini, the better, really. They're going to be relying
out here. Githian wall, stun comes down, stun from the Celeste. Here comes the 4 barrage. Just see, they had a relaxed open. They didn't open the way they did before with the double carry in the jungle. They went to lane and split it up. They're making some mistakes here.
Yeah,
Hopefully they can rebound pretty well.
The unexpected damage with the Frostburn coming out. That is why people pick Celeste in the CP Idris. The range is not close, and the damage is absolutely insane.
Yeah, and that Frostburn already coming out at 4.5 minutes, just being free to farm. She's got a couple kills. She got a Lance front line that's using his Githian wall very well, and they're gonna have to dive at some point to put down damage. So this poke coming out from Gemini is their saving grace right now.
Yeah, it really is. And they are getting better with their coordination. I have seen they have been landing a lot more of the impales with some stuns and stuff, and it has been working out for them. Oh, but the
Lots of
Chakram,
damage. Wow. Chakram just doing work. Almost made her want to go home in the face of Farm. Farm's just being fed to you. Like, I almost want to just go home. It's going to stick around, gets healed up a little bit.
Yeah, the Book of Eulogy is really key in out sustaining that Chakram when it deals so much damage. But we see Celeste, so
it's really going to be about protecting the Celeste. Anybody who comes back on the Celeste, guys, going to be able to dodge bad mojos, move out of the way of chakrams. Every auto attack is a chance to just reposition hugely. So,
yeah, definitely, very, very key.
Sky cut off here. Whole team, they're coming down. Oh, great, great movement out of the Sky to get out of there and reposition in a way that put her back on with a front line, and good intuition there to wait.
Very important.
Ardain comes out. Baptiste doing some damage, but he is not the carry.
Yeah, definitely. It's very important by Sky to use those Surrey strikes to get in the right position and be able to deal damage while staying alive.
Absolutely.
There's the Ordained. Has to be careful. I don't know about
Lots
the forward
of damage. Oh wow, that shotgun came through and just ripped through the whole team.
The forward barrage
by
is
that
not
Lance.
the right choice. You want to use it as a disengage, but you always want to be auto attacking for the most damage. And using that forward barrage on Baptiste really just makes you a target that's trapped in the Ordained that can just get dealt tons of damage to. Not the right choice. We'll see if they can clean it up.
They've got some great kite here, being able to work with this and having that tension bow on the glaive early with a little extra damage. He can be pretty aggressive right out of the start right here. They cleaned up Lance real easy. Just that Ordain holding them in place, not able to do much. And now they can aggress lane. Oh, that was a good 520-something damage. That was insane.
Yep, definitely got to be careful of the Chakram.
She went ahead and popped her pot. So, get out of jail free card there. Celeste is here now.
This is going to be huge. Helping. Get the extra range. Get the vision.
Yeah, they're going to need some vision.
Land the impale. They can destroy anybody on the other team. They just have to coordinate it.
Sky doing pretty well to stay up with the Idris and farm. She's not doing extraordinarily well, but she's keeping pace, so she will be strong. She's got that Sorrow Blade now, but she has no defense whatsoever. So they can't be getting caught out. I hope they start traveling as a team more. Gemini putting on a good show to get it to a game 3. They're engaging here now. Baptiste, the front line. Idris coming in. Glaive through the wall is going after this Lance time and time again. I think he needs to save that for somebody else, especially with that tension bow proc. Celeste on the back line with the Sky. They just have poke all day. They lose the farm. Interesting.
Yeah, not the most important thing, but it definitely would always help to get that little extra heal in the middle of the team fight, especially into someone with as much poke as CP Idris.
Not being able to do a lot with the aggression because they can't get damage down for the retreat. Gemini is just retreating out of sheer not wanting to be in that position.
Yeah, and Celeste, oh my. Oh, wow.
Big amount of damage. Death from above is just going to cut the whole team in half as she's laying down a 4 barrage under the turret. But Celeste went down pretty quickly. Shame. They could be turning this into a gold mine, but they are having their turret aggressed.
Yeah,
all right, so they're rotating. It looks like they were trying to make a decision on what to do there. Baptiste caught out. Githian wall stuns him up. He's got the Ordain on the Sky, but she is just doing fine, just hanging out, just auto-attacking. Gets the back line, but Idris blows her up, hitting like almost 3 or 4 shots with that shock room. She that too much. That's
Too much
insane.
damage. The crystal just really doing enough. Celeste actually not having enough. Sky not having enough damage to really burst the Baptiste down. He's getting killed by the fountain, and that let the Idris really start to deal damage, and she wasn't able to out sustain him and clean it
She is
up.
not invulnerable through those surge strikes. That is unfortunate. That was a very well timed shock room. Just going to be able to blow up the whole team, and I'm afraid that might spell the end for them because once he starts smelling blood, this Idris, any CP Idris knows that he can 1v3.
Yeah, most likely late game. He does a lot of damage. Though they do have the Celeste. Once again, very, very strong. Personally,
be careful. This glaive is staying hidden long enough and not being spotted right here. You see this flare going out to a typical spot. There she is. Gets hit. Wow. The proc goes out. Lots of damage on the back line, but it's being returned. The stun actually lands, and the Githian wall actually lands.
Actually trading.
It just goes down. Yeah, some abilities landed from the Celeste before she went down and actually helped to secure that kill. Sky with great positioning, being able to stay away. Glaive here wants it because he can get it. He's got enough damage right now.
Is one proc of the tension bow, and she will most likely be dead. So, and he's not going to dive.
He's 25 gold. Oh, a little bit of damage there, but Baptiste more of an annoyance than anything else.
Damage, but we do see Glaive actually picking up the Sorrow Blade, very safe. It's going to deal lots of burst, as well as Celeste starting to build into that broken myth. It seems like also very strong.
Not a lot of objective pushing here. Nobody's really risking a gold mine or worried about doing damage to a turret so much.
I would like to see the problem with Lions trying to force a fight is the Celeste will always be able to outrange them. So if they can force the gold mine, it'd be wonderful, but they have to do it so fast that she doesn't have time to really set up her heliogenesis. Because if you're taking gold mine and she's dropping heliogenesis on you, you're gonna get destroyed. You're not gonna be able to stay there and keep the aggro.
Yeah, and she's got a lot working for her right now as far as damage.
Yeah, so they really need to force a fight and get rid of the Celeste early before she really scales, but at the same time, they need to be careful and not make a misplay.
These carries are getting real strong in the lane, being able to farm pretty easily. Ordain comes out, Celeste a little trap, but nothing really happening. A little too close to turret for Glaive to go in. He didn't really feel safe.
Ordained on cooldown.
Maybe waiting for some damage to go down from this Idris. Nothing really happened. They're gonna poke back and forth.
This Ordained over and over. It's sort of frustrating because his team can't really dive. They're a little scared. They really want to get on the Celeste, but even when he ordains her, his team is so there to support the Celeste. They're not sure if they're gonna be able to get the kill.
Now the Ordain comes out. Fearsome Shade grabs the whole team, and they get chunked down from a shock room at the same time. Just so much damage coming down.
The abilities did so much damage. The shock room, along with the Shimmer Strike, dealt so much damage that even with the Fearsome Shade and everything, they melted. They melted their team, and there was nothing they could do.
Absolutely. Just they're
gonna get lots of
great combo there.
Gold mine, though. I would have liked to see them go for the gold mine off that. Definitely could have taken it.
Yeah, not pushing objectives really. Like I said, just kind of playing it safe, going home. They know they're outpoked.
Last thing you want to do is throw Celeste a lot of gold randomly in them. Give her some extra items.
That's true. And she's on her way to a broken myth, so she can be able to ramp up for these fights. But like we're seeing, these fights aren't lasting long.
Yeah,
not long after the afterburn. Once the afterburn goes in and someone's ordained, it's
going to be really important later, though, when she gets more mana and she can continuously drop the heliogenesis. That's when it's really going to start to scale.
Absolutely.
As we saw earlier in the other matches. Weapon Power Sky doing very well for the odd pick that it is.
They're just letting their turret get pushed pretty good. It's going to eat about 800, 900 damage there. Pretty much free of charge. Ordain comes out on the Sky. She's a little far forward. Afterburn comes out, but he wasn't able to land it. Didn't really see what happened there. He kind of ran in circles around her. Fearsome Shade doing work, pushing them the wrong way, though. The positioning on that really needed them close. Maybe hold off until your team starts getting low, but that pushed them away and gave them the advantage to get back. Ordain comes out again on the Celeste. She's going to reflex block out. Sky goes home to get more health and come back to the lane, but they are in a position now to do something, but they are hanging around a little bit too long, I think, and letting the poke come back onto them, and now they're have such low health that it's not really
backing off is a smart choice. Celeste, obviously full health, has lots of damage, and you don't want to get bursted down by a stun or something accidentally. Yeah. So definitely the smart choice. Something I do want to mention is the Celeste has maxed out her core collapse. Not the right choice. You really need to get your ult to level 3 so that when you do use it, the Eve of Harvest, you deal so much damage, you heal up. Not maxing it out. It gives you a lot better cooldowns, but you're not going to have nearly as much sustain, and that is a mistake.
They're coming down right now. Whole team split up. Lance has no idea what's going on. She gets afterburned through an Ordain, but it's going to get away with the reflex block. Githy and walls all day, but no, Idris is going to follow through, finish her off, and now Sky is in a bad position. But it's kiting very well. Ordain comes through. Glaive's coming over the top. He's real low. He's going to go ahead and get it through onto the Lance. She gets taken down. Siri striking the wrong way.
They are going to try to chase the Lance.
He's not getting out. Nah, it's just too much damage coming up from the rear.
Lance can jump over the wall into the base.
Comes down. Yeah, there it is. And now
Lance to jump over the wall into the base. That definitely would have been the smart choice there to get away. Though Glaive could have tried to use him.
Over here down at the bottom or towards the top?
It's right in the middle. There's a certain spot where if you impale, you can just go right over it. And lots of players use it for the mobility for the escape because preventing that ace buff is huge. Celeste needs to rotate up the lane right now and stop this turret from going down.
Yeah, especially from this, a Kraken push. You're going to lose the Kraken. You don't want to get that
possible. Yeah. Surprisingly enough, though, there's only a 3,000, 4,000 gold lead, which I think sort of reflects Lions has not pushed many objectives this game. They pushed a turret. They pushed like one gold mine. They have not taken advantage of their early comp. And
they haven't been in a position to do so with like full health and like someone dying or going home. Afterburn comes in on the Celeste. She's caught again, not being able to do any damage during these fights. Solar Storm's in the face of Oblivion. She just gets destroyed, but gets off her abilities. Does a little bit of damage. Sky just auto-attacking all day on this Baptiste, but not really doing a whole lot. She's putting herself in the way of a lot of damage and eats
that's
it.
Gonna be that, and that's probably gonna be game. Both the carries down, 15 seconds on Celeste. Celeste really needs to watch her positioning in those late fights. Getting caught out by the afterburn,
She had the damage. She had it, but she did not have the positioning that we saw out of Celsior Lions.
Yeah. But overall, a good match, and that's going to be game 2 falling to Lions over Team Gemini. Very entertaining. Going to conclude it for tonight, but very entertaining. We saw lots of good plays coming out of Lions, proving that they are one of the top teams in this tournament. Definitely a full roster, even with subs, doing very, very well. We also saw a lot out of Gemini, definitely contesting a much more experienced, much older team than them as well.
Yeah, and you can see the benefits of synergy. And you start a team, and you guys don't all have to be at the same tier, but as you work together, you build synergy can replace overall skill.
Yeah,
to a certain point.
Definitely,
this is the team game, man. So team strong. Don't have to get carried everywhere.
Yep. And that is going to conclude it for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Celsior Lions 2-0 over Gemini.